Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Sup? Hello, hello. Hello. But yeah. Sorry I got distracted. Finished lunch with someone. I got excellent, perfect timing. Run the tomato ad. It'll be so funny to just have that video randomly play. Are we loved? Yes, you are, guys. Yes, you are. But yeah, so I got distracted because I'm looking for chargers for my laptop. Like the reason, guys, that I have not been making schedules, aside from me being lazy, is that we only have one computer at home now. Since I did not lift the laptop charger from the floor when the water was coming in. So like the laptop is fine, but you know the the charger is not charging. Mouth explode that guy. Yes. Hi. Yeah, no, at least it didn't short circuit anything else. I mean, it might have short circuited one of the power plugs on the wall. I'm not sure. Because I tried connecting it, and you know, I didn't realize that it was not charging. And then when I realized, I tried moving it around, and it had cut the power on the entire room. And I had to go turn it on from the wall thingy. And then I tried to connect a thing to one of those power plugs, and it was not turning on. I had to use the one above. But I'm not sure if it was just a random glitch or not. Put charger on throne. See, that's what I was doing. that was what I was trying to do. But like I ended up looking at the laptop model itself, because you know I look up the laptop model, and like the power supply that I have, you know, the one that came with the laptop, is like fucking 230 watts. But when I look on Amazon, by the computer name, I find some like, oh, AC charger, you know, compatible with like all these laptop models, and they're only 180 watts. There are some that are higher, but those are more expensive. So I'm looking at the 180 ones, and I'm like, do those actually work? Does your laptop support Type-C charging? I'm not sure. How much more expensive? Like double the price, because these are like 40 and the others start at like 80 or 90. But I am confused. If I had to 40 watts for 30 USD. Yeah, if I look just with the Canadian. If I look just for the watts, I get cheaper ones. I started looking just with the laptop model, just to be like, oh, you know, like let's make sure, because it's not USB-C or anything. It's like those one with the circular power plug. They're like the circular input that goes into a laptop. So I'm like, oh, let's just look up the laptop model so I get like the proper barrel jack. Yes, the proper jack. And I'm getting some funny prices here. Oh my god, Bella, thank you. I should have known when I asked. Can you send me the model? Like, all right. Let me actually give me a second to go get like the exact model, because I mean, should be should be the same. I think the different models just like change the internals, like more RAM and more thingies. From what I'm seeing on the website. They have like 5 different models of the same laptop, but I think it's just they just change like the internal components, like memory, RAM, storage, CPU. So I'm guessing when it comes to power, it's like the same. This chat tech support is probably for today's streamer. I usually don't need help. Like I work in computer, guys. But whenever it comes to this, I'm just like, you know, I mean, like I was looking at the same watts as the charger I had, but now I'm finding like, oh, but like the one with less watts is cheaper. But like, will it actually work? Question mark. Tech support sometimes needs tech support. It's true. I sniff out deals. Thank you. Tech support you in your laptop. Yeah, the laptop we have. My recording from our laptop, does it work? Hell yeah. Do they have a lighting charge option? I don't think it does. I'm looking at the small print here. And it does have a Type-C connector, so like maybe it does. Like in the back, I mean. The Thunderbolt 4 also supports DisplayPort functionality and power delivery. I mean, like, does that mean? I think that means that it gives power out from the laptop. Delivers up to 3 amps at 5 volt DC for USB charging. DC in requires power adapter or power source, providing 65 watts at 20 volts. Okay, so why do I have a 230 watt one if I don't need that much? Am I just using power for the sake of it? Yeah, it's a gaming laptop. And power surge. How does having like higher watt help with power surge? I think the higher watt might just charge faster. Yeah, no, this is a gaming laptop, so you know it's a. You can see, you know, I have tried, you know, you can use it normally without it being plugged in, but like if you try playing without it connected to power, you will notice the you will notice the drop in performance. In case of search, you won't overload and fry components. Ah. So yeah, that's why like now I'm unsure. I was just looking like, do I get like the 181? Or like the 200 something? Hello, Maku. My first gaming laptop 2013 died after 1 single year. RIP. Acer. Oh, the one I have is an Acer. I am excited for Algrosa. I mean, actually, not that much. I'm more excited for the lore attached to her than for her. 180 will charge is low, but also not supply enough power for higher demanding things cost gaming GPU. Yeah, that's what I was figuring. I'm like, okay, it might actually work, but like, you know, maybe it won't game too good. So I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll go with the 231. I mean, I can't actually find a 230. They're all like 280. But according to the Acer website, it does accept up to 280, I think. Wait, never mind. Can send me a 231. Excellent. Because yeah, it says power description, maximum power supply. Wattage, 280 watts. So like, does that mean that is the maximum that it accepts? And if I put in more, it will die. My Cinderia makes the most sense. Yeah, that's usually what I go for. I noticed the price difference, and I was like, okay, but does the cheaper one actually work, or do I need to go for the slightly pricier one that actually matches the same as the original? I hope they give us a filler after Sopo. Yeah, no, definitely. For laptops now, I have power regulation. Oh, good. Yeah, thank you for the link. I will proceed to buy a computer because yeah, that is, as I was saying, the reason I'm not making schedules is not only because I've been lazy and getting home to game instead of doing anything productive with my life. I've been obsessed with Palworld. I have discovered breeding in Palworld. I have unlocked breeding in Palworld. And You know, I'm not the IVs and all that stuff, because apparently it also has IVs, like Pokemon. Like, that's too much for me. But you know, I am the passive skills. No, that's a different thing. How is Power 1.0 compared to early access? I have no idea, because I didn't play early access. Is a new link bigger and better for less? Oh yeah. The other one does have the... Oh, wait. The other one does have the little square plug, square jack. But, Interesting. But this one looks like it's smaller. It's a smaller brick. Which is nice. The other one is giant brick. Nice. You want 230 or higher? I mean, 230 is the one I have, so you know, I was looking at that as like the minimum that it will need to work properly. But if there's higher and it can take it without issue, then that's fine. Power 1.0 fix the issues I had with beta. From what I was told, there's a lot of like quality of life updates. You're so good at finding links. This is insane. I have so many options now. But yeah, so I haven't been making a schedule because, you know, because of that, now we only have one computer. And whenever I get home on Monday and Tuesdays, those are the days that my sister is off. So, you know, I get home and she's using the computer. And as you guys know, my computer does not like when we switch between accounts. I don't think she has the software that I use to make the schedule on her account. So, no, you know, I can't be like, oh, you know, can you let me use the computer for like 10 minutes just to make my schedule and post it? Because in like, you know, in between changing accounts and maybe needing to restart because the computer is acting funny and whatnot and blah, blah, it's gonna be like half an hour. But yeah, if I get the you know, if I get the laptop on working order again, I say it's working, it's just, it will eventually run out of power. I have nothing to charge it with. I assume it's working fine because, you know, I am slightly worried because I did connect the faulty charger to it without like realizing in the moment that it was dead. But the laptop didn't have any weird reaction when I did it. Like it actually cut up the power of my power plugs on the wall. So like I'm hoping that, you know, it has the transformer. It's called a transformer, right? The big brick. Like the cable has that, which means that is like outside the laptop. So I'm hoping that the laptop is fine. And I'll just get a new charger and it'll be good as new. But if I can get it in working order again, then I'll be able to do a schedule. You know, I can just turn on the laptop, do the schedule real quick, post it, and then turn off the laptop, and get onto my Xbox to game. Yippee! Which is what I did before. I am opening the game. Speaking of games, luckily it was Palworld. Palworld is the only building game that got me hooked. The thing is that I'm playing with my sister and a friend. No, we don't have a server. We're just like my sister invites us to her session, basically. And we will play together. So everyone just does what they want, you know, because I'm not much into the whole building thing, but like my sister is. So, you know, she does that, you know, she works on the base, she does all the base upgrades and stuff. And I just run around catching pals, exploring, killing bosses, catching bosses. And now our friend used to kind of do the same, I think. But now she built a breeding farm. And she was like, cruises years for the mines she does. It's gonna be my dad still has his laptop from 2004. Can only live by being plugged into the wall. Yeah, after a while, laptops, you know, they still work, but if you disconnect them, they just die. You can't get them around anymore. You can't use them without them being plugged in. But yeah, so that's also why I've been having fun with it, you know, because I don't really look into all that. I just explore and have fun and die sometimes. You know, our friend, she built a breeding farm because I don't know what she wanted to do. She wanted to get like a monster in particular, I think. And I by complete accident I caught like one of the leaders. You know, I found the places where you can find like the monsters, like the tower bosses have. So I caught like the one that's like a crow, but like a griffon, I guess. Kind of. It also kind of looks like a Pokemon, but you know, let's not talk about that. They already had enough issues with Pokemon. and you can use it to fly. And I was like, but I haven't changed my flying mount, even though it's like one of the most basic ones, because it has this passive skill that gives it more stamina. And I'm like, oh, but what if I breed one monster with like, one that has that skill, so you will get it. And I tried that, and I got like something completely different. And then that's when I discovered that in Pal World, if you breed two monsters, it won't give you like one or the other. Or sometimes it can give you like an entirely different one, and there's like a billion different combinations. And now I have a list, and I have like a calculator, and I'm just like, I'm gonna get this shit going. And it was funny because her friend, she built the breeding farm in like a different base that we had. We had like 3 bases spread out. And she was always complaining about okay, but the past event we didn't finish it because my house flooded, so that's different circumstances. But yeah, no, it was funny because she made the breeding farm, but like nothing else on that base. So she was very complaining about like not having the ingredients to make the cakes that you need to get the pals to breed. So last night I was playing, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this shit, and I actually built like everything so you can get like the ingredients right there. And I'm like, hell yeah, optimizing. So yeah, that's probably what I will be spending my time at tonight. So yeah. Anyway, with all the jap out of the way, I have the game open now. We're ready to go. I have a glass of water. I already drank like half of it, but it's fine. So shall we get back to it, because we have today and tomorrow to finish this, and the notes are long. So shall we? Let me just quickly check Discord, make sure any important message. Okay, we good. So let's go! Forgot to change the thing. There we go. What is that emoji? What is that? A drink? Oh yeah. Anyway, I was doing this. It is that point. This is the time when you gotta get Kalina to like you. Also, I showed my sister some parts of the Gears Frontline stream, and we were both like, I can't believe they're bringing Gears Frontline back into Gears Frontline. They're putting more Gears Frontline into Gears Frontline. Like, that's crazy. Oh yeah, I forgot about her skin. What is this? Ah, is it okay? Do I have pools? No. It's fine. I heard you like Gears Frontline, so I put more Gears Frontline into your Gears Frontline. Isn't that great? The new game mode released just Gears Frontline 1. It is. It truly is. It's so funny. All right. I only said 28 because I haven't done the side stages. We're almost halfway through. So let's go! Story time! Dream. In memories of birth, in the realm of dreams, Mother is calling. Beneath the moonlight, pale as Tule? I have an idea. A phantom flits across the sea of flowers. Her steps are a misty trail across the night, piercing through the bright silver glow reflected among the blossoms. Oh, there she is! The glow up she got to this design, it's honestly, it's peak. It's very Bloodborne, but you know, like it's clearly Bloodborne, but it's peak. Coordinates PR495Z82. More number letters. XU938M39. Sanctum. She stops at the edge of the flower sea, gazing at the faraway castle that stands beneath the faint light. This place is familiar yet foreign to her. Her birthplace. The place that gave her every dream, every hope, then stripped them all away. Behind Sextans, a white-clad figure draws closer with measured steps. She stops at the edge of Sextan's shadow, cast long and slender upon the ground. A silver glow traces her outline, as if shielding her from melting into the darkness ahead. Big sis. Sextan's sword answers in her stead. The sound of her blade clearing the scabbard is cold as the grim reapers exhale. The tip does not tremble in the slightest. It drives straight toward her chest. The instant the black blade strikes its target, the white silhouette shatters. The particles, fine as powder, look like dust from collapsed radiation, dispersing into the air within moments. Right after, the detached voice returns behind Sextans. Welcome home. As the residue of silence fades, Sextans stares at the emptiness before her, her voice dry and low. Nest. Altar. Sanctum. So now, she has all of you calling this place home. And who are you? The totem who guides the lost lambs. The ferry to the boundless shore. Or the grail that holds the blood of the world. Which identity has she bestowed upon you?
Ataraxis. I have no need of any identity, because I am the world itself, flowing out from the end. The gates are destined to open to me, and I am ordained not to repeat the failures of those who came before.
The gates. Miracles are born one after another, only to be reduced to dust. No matter the identity, none is more than an empty lie fabricated by Paradeus. The one who created us, even though she mocked those lies, she happily accepted everything Paradeus gave her, all for the sake of so-called perfection. Unfortunately, a perfect life form exists only in the blueprint within her imagination. It can never be brought into reality. And you won't be the final work of that blueprint either. Perhaps she doesn't understand what sextans meant. Or perhaps she simply doesn't care about what sextans you said. The girl simply blinks at her gently.
I am the final creation. At the very least, no individuals will be created as a successor to me within Mother's current series. And perfection was never the goal. The peak always remains at the next stage. All I need to do is keep learning. That is what Mother says.
Whatever you say.
Although you are my older sister, you are far less interesting than the commander. I should have kept her here.
The commander? Why was she here?
To protect you, perhaps.
I want to see Mother.
Mother has not the intention to see thee. It was I who summoned you back.
I heard it. That string of code you triggered, no one could ignore it. Not even I, who had been destroyed once before. But still, I want to see her.
Do you wish to die by my hand?
Do as you please. I've only come to retrieve what is mine, nothing more.
What is yours? Do you have something of your own? I want to know what that is. Very well. I'll take you to see Mother. Big sis, please follow me.
Damn, okay. And yeah, back to cold family dynamics. Yippee! The two of them walk in a row in silence, like the heavy darkness of night and the moonlight that trails its shadow. Sextans never imagined that she would return to this place again. She left bearing a mission that transcended both humans and dolls. At least that was what she believed at the time. Yet she returned with nothing. And now, at least, she must reclaim the final thing that can prove who she is. Commander, why did you come? I hope you are ready gone back.
Mother said this used to be your room, Big Sis. Please rest here for now.
Where is she?
Mother is still working.
Fine. You're nothing more than yet another yes man. I can wait.
But if you make me wait too long, something that she wouldn't like to see may happen. What will happen? May I ask? Please do not direct your hostility at me, big sis. If I am forced to attack you, there may be nothing left of you at all, even if I use the least bit of force possible. Therefore, it should be thee that yields to please me. There is no point in taking a hardline stance toward those stronger than yourself. This is how I see it. If there is something that I do not understand, please teach me. You haven't done anything to the commander, have you? Ah, so you're learning from the commander. I see. That makes sense then. Since she is a fragile human who cannot even survive here, she must enforce her will and conviction. Even when faced with certain death, she cannot back down. That is how she generates the will to move forward. So your bluster right now must be for the purpose of stealing your own conviction, big sis. You are afraid. You fear me. You fear Mother even more. But what you fear most remains. Shut up. STR-01A247 tries to take a step forward in the darkness. The ground beneath her feet is not level. In fact, we can say that it is strewn with obstacles. And so, unsurprisingly, she falls. Along with the loud crash of metal striking metal comes extreme discomfort from her frame. STR-01A247 doesn't know what to do. All she can do is lie there, helpless. After what seems to be a long time, a gentle voice rises through the dark.
Oh, we're getting the silhouette of Mother.
You've fallen. How does it feel? Feel? Right. You don't know what feel means yet. She takes STR-01A247's hand into her own. You may understand it as a complex, dynamic, biological feedback algorithm. It contains certain sensor readings. For example, right now, in the palm of your hand, the pressure sensor will register 0.3 newtons of force, and the temperature sensor will detect a heat source at around 36.3 degrees Celsius. This data flows into your neural space, where it is logged as the corresponding behavior. Handshake. Handshake. But a feeling does not end here. Aside from the data stream the neural cloud receives, a non-logical evaluation system will provide you with real-time feedback. The emotional model within your neural cloud generates neurotransmitters in your frame, which unlock a tendency within your neural cloud space. And the next time, when that 0.3 newtons of force and that 36.3 degree contact are registered again, the concept of handshake will fit directly back into your neural cloud. Just like right now. Mother once again takes STR-01A247's hand, then helps her up to her feet. See, I have steadied you. So long as I am by your side, you will never fall again. Now, try walking forward. With worry, STR-01A247 takes a small step forward. The obstacles still cover the ground. With the support of Mother's grip on her, the lowest point of her frame finally lands steadily and squarely upon the floor. How do you feel now? Will not fall. Safe. The woman looks deeply satisfied. You see, as long as I am by your side, you are safe. Do you understand? Yes. But what if you are not? My child, I will always be here. At any time, whenever you need me, I will be by your side. STR-01A247 nods, half understanding, half not. Now, I shall slowly teach you everything about the world, holding nothing back. Everything? Indeed, everything. The woman holds the doll's hand, resting her other hand on STR-01A247's shoulder. She brings her lips close to the auditory sensor and whispers, in a voice low and intimate, words that flow like divine revelation. For a newly born doll, whose neural cloud had only just taken shape, this is nothing short of sensory overload. Everything means the things I touch will be within your grasp. Every step I take will become the path you walk. The knowledge I hold will be the foundation from which you explore the unknown. The principles I reveal will be the map that guides you through the fog. And the mysteries I have yet to unravel shall be the dawn you meet the future with. My child, you have the chance to become such a being. If that day comes, you will transcend the prison of consciousness, transcend the limits of intelligence, perhaps transcend even time itself. Transcend all the chains that have bound humanity for so long, and become a unique existence in this world with no peer. This will be a thorny path. However, you are blessed that we will support each other. I will hold you steady all the way to the end. Just like how a moment ago, I made sure your feet found solid ground despite the closure of your eyes. I will not disappoint you. My sweet child, you have such a gentle heart. But you will never disappoint me, for your very beard has already advanced me one great step forward. Our beard. We... STR-01A247 opens her eyes for the first time. She finally sees what it was that made her trip earlier. Countless broken, shattered frames. Oh, okay. Sextance, lost deep in her memory, closes her eyes tightly. Those memory fragments were from the birth of her neural cloud. It should have been wiped along with her past at the conglomerate, but somehow they were preserved intact. Now, all that she remembers is the promise made at her birth and the agony of walking all the way to her end.
Okay, damn. Alright, that was something. That just William cross-dressing. You never know, it could be true. So let me show you real quick, guys. Look at him. All EP. Why it looks so grainy, I don't know. It has something to do with this, I think. No, there we go. Look at the boy. Mika trace father issues with mother issues as the gender subdivision. What is the meaning of this? He's all EP. He's just an EP guy. Yeah, I always find it so funny because those words, they're scarves, the little bandanas that we put on them. You know, they sell them for dogs. They're from this brand that we buy, like the little collars. And they have like the collars and harnesses and everything they have for dogs and cats. On like the same designs. But for some reason they only have bandanas for dogs. But you know, we buy the small ones anyway. The ones that are like for small dogs. And put them on them. And every time we take them somewhere like to the vet or like I show pictures, sometimes I show pictures of them on like the cashier at the pet store when I buy like the pet food, the cat food. And everyone always is fascinated by the scarves. So when I show my friends also, like everyone always comments on the scarves and I'm just like, guys, we should all start putting little bandanas on our cats. Everyone always loves it. How come I don't see more cats with bandanas? Come on, guys. Get on it. But anyway, let us continue. Actually, let me go get more water. Let me actually leave you guys with my cat as I go get more water, even though it'll be just like 10 seconds. Like I work at a vet clinic, putting collars on cats seems to be getting more popular. Good. My guys will not wear anything I bought for them, but they will run around the house with a plastic bag around their neck like it's the next best high fashion items. Yeah, I mean there are some cats that just want. It's because dog people have managed to make it their thing. It's true! No, he does not have homophobia, unfortunately. It is very cute and cool, yeah. But yeah, we need to take it from dog people, you know? Cats look great on it. But yeah, there are some cats and dogs too, I think, that you know, they just want more things. I think it's easier on dogs to get them used to, but like some cats will just simply not. But this guy here, we got him like at 1 year old. And he's like super chill. We put this thing on him and he never bothered. Reggie, my other cat, we had a bit more issues with her the first time, but you know, since we got her used to it ever since she had like 3 or 4 months, eventually she didn't care anymore. Anyway, water. Anyway, I'm glad you guys also enjoy my cat's fashion. Now I have more water and we're ready to continue. Rescue plan. A rescue is a line of reverse code, and the signposts that lead to freedom all point towards traps. The temperature around us drops sharply after nightfall. The faint blue fluorescence radiating from the edges of the collapsed film makes the air chill more so. Melanie drifts back to dreamland as we wait for sextants to be found. Looks like Melanie tolerates the red zone far better than an ordinary human like me. She's an immune individual, after all. It's been nearly 8 hours since we entered the red zone. As the only ordinary human present, my skin has already started to prickle even with my protective suit on. It has become more difficult for me to breathe as well. A wave of fatigue washes over me out of nowhere. My eyelids start feeling heavy. It's getting harder and harder to maintain my focus.
Commander, we found traces of activity from sextants at coordinates PR493C86XU938M39. I'm pretty sure those are the same numbers and letters that sextant said. The dog we encountered earlier, which we suspect to be 3rd gen, is together with her as well.
404's report jolts me back to alertness. Looking at the offline map on my comms device, I see that the coordinates lie about 3 kilometers from us, in our 2 o'clock direction. That's near the castle. The worst case scenario has come to pass.
Commander, do we act?
Wait until we link up with you first. Alva, where are you right now? How far are you from that location?
We were searching in the opposite direction from 404. We can reach there in about 20 minutes.
Understood. We'll head over as well. Kluge, keep watching them for now. Don't make a move until we and DeFi arrive.
Acknowledged.
20 minutes later, the 3 squads regroup. But during our approach, Kluge reports a new update over the comms channel. The 2 of them didn't linger outside. They entered the castle. So now, another difficult decision awaits me. Thanks to DeFi's support, the equipment we brought includes a large number of highly destructive weapons, and among them, enough explosives to level this castle. When we entered the castle earlier, none of the squads found any signs of special defensive measures. So, if our only goal were to destroy this Paradeus base, I could just ask 404 to silently plant explosives around the castle and wait for the right moment to detonate them. I have full confidence that even right now, 404 could carry out that mission without a scratch. The remaining 2 squads will then only need to take advantage of the enemy's confusion to hold position around the castle, picking off any survivors. But now we know that Sextans just went inside the castle. Even though she did a lot of work for the conglomerate, she helped us greatly during her time with us aboard the Elmo, whether intentional or not. What's more, she carries many of the leads I'm interested in. If we want to bring Sextans back with us, then that brutish, straightforward plan must obviously be thrown away. I stare unblinkingly at the nearby castle. Bathed in moonlight, its sky-piercing spires look unusually sharp. The stained glass windows leak faint hints of light, though from this distance it's impossible to tell whether any figures are moving about inside.
Danger. Don't. Commander.
Melanie. Noticing that Melanie is awake, Groza sets her down on the ground. Melanie rubs her eyes. Once she realizes that she was dreaming, she stumbles over to me in unsteady steps.
Commander.
Had a nightmare?
Yeah, but this time was a little different. Maybe it's because we're so close now. The scenes in my dream became much clearer.
What did you see this time? What's wrong?
That powerful being I was sensing is changing. Commander, if we don't hurry, she'll be devoured.
Devoured? Melanie, take it slow. What is going to be devoured? Melanie falls silent. Her body trembles, and her thoughts too seem to be in disarray. I really want to keep pressing her, but seeing how frightened she is, I can't bring myself to make her relieve the scary sights that plague her dream. Still, based on what Melanie had sensed before, whatever appeared in her dream is almost certainly connected to this castle. Looks like danger is closing in. The longer we sit here, the more likely it is for things to spiral out of control. I have to make my decision immediately, no matter the outcome.
Commander, Andorra just found records on a historical building in an offline database. It looks really similar to the castle in front of us. It was built in the 16th century, according to the records. Later requisitioned during the war between the NSU and the UNC, it became the private residence of a warlord after the war. Also, the castle was a protected historical landmark before this area became a red zone, so we have detailed restoration diagrams and info on its interior structures. I've shared the info with the squads and uploaded them to each of your databases. They may be old, but they should still be of some use.
The terminal I'm holding quickly receives the images sent by Andoris. Not only do they show the building's exterior and interior structures, they also show the room layouts and even the details on the piping. I quickly skimmed through the building's overall structure. It doesn't differ much from our own experience of the castle from earlier. But when I try to locate the hidden room that Nemesis led us to on the floor plan, all I see is a solid wall. So there are some discrepancies after all. Looks like a newer owner added it. But how did Nemesis know about it? Forget it. I'll ask her once we're back. Our priority is to get Sextans out, and if possible, find a way to destroy this Paradeus base. The enemy may have anticipated my next move, but if I let something like that stop me, I would have died 10 years ago. Very true. After some discussion, I decided to split the 3 squads I have into 2 action plans. I think Gears Ryan streams are the days when I drain myself the most. It's crazy. The first action plan will be used by DeFi. Requiem, who specializes in electronic warfare, will use the castle's blueprints to map the wiring and look for ways to exploit them. A second action plan will be used by 404, who will be establishing defenses of the perimeter. They will coordinate with Peritia from the outside in, working to take control of the enemy's electronic systems. Also, the high-yield explosives have been given to 404. They'll begin setting up detonation points around the castle once we move inside, and detonate them when necessary. As for Melanie, I tried to convince her to stay on the perimeter with 404, but she insisted on staying with me. I had no choice but to have Team Grossa continue to guard her. Grossa identifies a suitable infiltration route on the castle's blueprints. After synchronizing the data to the rest of the group, our two groups separate roughly a kilometer from the castle.
Commander, the route has been confirmed. No enemies detected at key positions.
Same here on my end.
Looks like it's time for me to shine. Commander, is there anything else you wish to tell us?
Nope.
Everyone, let's begin. First, assist Peridia in breaking through the castle surveillance system, allowing her to begin seizing control of the enemy's electronic lines.
Oh yeah. It's funny how I keep rolling for dolls, but ever since I got like these 4, I've never used anything else. This is all I need. Where will the other enemy units show up from? The main iteration will be used a lot more different dolls. Oh yeah, I imagine. But you know, since I only play story, yeah. It's been a while since I used anything else. I also showed my sister the video of like Mo singing that stupid song about the tiles. And she laughed so much. The tile combinations.
Infiltration complete. 404, are you receiving the signal? You hacked into it already? Yes. Given the urgency, I used some unconventional methods.
Oh, did you now?
That's way too fast. Pardon? No, nothing. Doris, check whether we can connect to the signal. No problem there. The strong radiation is causing interference, but basic control of what's connected to the wiring should be possible. Miss Peritia, you really are impressive. You too. Just checked. Miss Pereira seems to have cracked most of the castle's wiring. However, one area seems to have a special encryption, so I can't see into it yet. Eh? I thought I already handled that area.
Whispers of void. Obstruction.
Nemesis suddenly speaks up to offer a hint. Hearing this, Pereira quickly takes on an expression of understanding.
Is that so? Ah, I knew it.
Pereira seems to do something complex on her end. The map transmitted by Andoris now finally has the last block of surveillance footage lit up. It's the castle's basement area.
You know, this special kind of encryption method is... It's impressive that you know about it, Nemesis.
Indeed, Nemesis has been showing a great deal of familiarity with this location ever since her earlier infiltration. And there were those dolls who looked just like Nemesis. Did Nemesis escape from this place? Or...
Now we have all our preparations done. But just to be safe, everyone, please wait until you receive our confirmation signal before taking action.
Understood. How's the situation outside?
Things are going relatively smoothly so far. Meshti and Delka are still confirming the reliability of the detonation points. Once they're done, we can begin placing the explosives.
Thank you for your hard work.
Save the pleasantries for another time. If you don't get out of there soon, Meshti might end up blowing you up to high heaven along with the castle.
With a beep, she ends the call.
Under Andoris' guidance, we bypass the enemy surveillance and slip into the castle through a small window at the rear. As we move along the corridor, I gradually begin to think that the place somehow feels kind of off. Logically speaking, security should be tighter than usual since we had a huge fight here just a few hours ago. But aside from a few scattered low-tier marionette dolls whose neural clouds Pereira hacked and then burned out, we haven't encountered any enemies that could count as a real guard on our infiltration route. Of course, this was the outcome we hoped for when we chose this route. But now that things are actually playing out this smoothly, I can't help but wonder if I fall into a trap. Commander, are you worried about something? Yeah, I just can't shake the feeling that something's not right. Any sign of Sexton's location? No good. Our own radar sensors are still useless. Can you see her in the surveillance footage? One moment, let me have a look. Yeah, found her. Commander, can you see the feed that I'm sharing?
Andoris projects the image over. There are several blurry figures in the video feed. Although it's hard to see what they're doing, the two at the center are unmistakable Sextons and the gear we encountered earlier.
Very clearly.
This is... Based on the building's structural diagrams, this is the banquet hall located at the rear of the first floor. According to the layout, the kitchen is to the left, the dining hall is to the right, while the reception room we visited earlier is above. Below this banquet hall is a huge wine cellar.
A wine cellar?
Mm-hmm. If you wanted to go there from your position, just first have to pass through the corridor ahead, go through the storeroom, take the spiral staircase down, then go through the living room on the left side. That will be the safest route.
Alright, got it.
Andoris draws a path for me through the building's structural diagram. We covered most of the building during our earlier fighting, but we never actually went anywhere below the reception room. I'm about to study the castle's general map when I notice movement in the surveillance footage. Aside from the gear and sextants, the other dolls around them suddenly drop to the floor in some kind of a strange posture.
Wait a minute. What are those dolls doing?
Right. I think I've seen something like this before.
saw it back when Kaufman encountered that Nether's purification ritual. With that thought in mind, I do my best to zoom in on the image to check whether what I'm seeing matches what I suspect. But all I get are larger blocks of pixelated color.
Can the picture be made any clearer? I'm sorry, Commander. The radiation interference is too strong here. Data transmission can only be measured in kilobytes. If I push the bandwidth any further, I'm afraid it might actually crash.
I see. Then let's not. I take one last look at the roadmap, silently committing it to memory. Then I shoot off my terminal, put it away and chamber around in my pistol. Since your opponent is connected to Paradeus, what they're doing is obvious enough.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they're up to. I have to see it for myself anyway.
Are we getting more children experimented on? Ooh, another story. Another story node. Fun. Neural Labyrinth. To question your creator is to step on the path of awakening that rents all preconception.
20 minutes earlier. Before the door was knocked on, Sextans was trying to recall what she had done before arriving at this place. She has forgotten many things. All she could do was fill her empty narrow cloud with blurry memory fragments. She can barely remember anything else apart from those memories of her birth, which are protected by a special code. A few traces still linger in her narrow cloud data, occasionally allowing her to remember that she once signed a multi-year service agreement with UR Group. Of course, the contents of that agreement had long been wiped clean alongside the rest of her data, replaced by painful memories that she would rather not revisit. A certain woman acting as her mother tricked her into participating in that experiment, and since Sextant was a failed product of it, she was carelessly thrown away like electronic waste. Soon after, she met the woman known as the Commander. That Commander took her in and tried to make her an ordinary doll, like those second-gen dolls she once looked down on. Those dolls who live some kind of Philistine, ordinary life. With them, there were no more enemies that must be dominated, no more riddles that must be solved. Neither was Mother there, telling her and her sister that they must create some new world. Her powerful frame, superior narrow cloud, supremely sophisticated algorithms, all that prowess, now reduced to the act of pouring a cup of coffee or making dinner. At most, her narrow cloud has to remember to beat some high-score sitting in a game console. What's this? Is this all she is? Is that all the doll named Sextans does? Then what is the value of her existence? Since she did return to where it all began, this time she intends to find out once and for all.
Mother is now ready to see you, Vixis.
Lead the way. The murals, once painted in dazzling colors on the hall's dome ceiling, have long since faded. Gold leaf and dark red undertones now look like dried bloodstains. Pale moonlight streams down through arched windows, casting faint patches of light upon the floor.
Wait, let me...
Sextant walks up the stone stairs, paved with red carpet. Dozens of dolls stand on either side of the hall, yet she can only hear her own footsteps. She can't help but think back to her time on the Elmo, where even a few dolls could get noisy enough for her to temporarily shut off her auditory model. Sextant scans the entire hall, but finds no one else here.
She isn't here.
Oh no, that's nice. She isn't here.
Please wait for a moment.
Ataraxis walks over to one side of the hall, then pulls down a brass lever hidden behind the curtains. After a low mechanical rumble, the hall undergoes what can only be called its true awakening. Warm yellow lights turn on one after another. Lavish drapes descend from the dome ceiling, and at the center of the hall, a massive holographic projection screen rises from the floor slowly. Once the screen settles into place, a figure appears on it. The dolls around them all prostrate themselves one after another. Only Ataraxis and Sextans remain standing in silence at the hall's center.
A holographic projection. This is the form you choose to meet me.
My work schedule does not permit long interruptions. Besides, it makes no real difference to you, my child. What your sense of detect is merely your neuroclass response to data that feels vaguely familiar. Whether you witness a simulation made by photons and air vibrations, or a figure formed by cells and tissue fluid, the signals you receive are exactly the same. So even if I were a lifelike phantom, or a real human that stood before you, my choice of appearance affects not the trust and loyalty between us. Don't you agree?
Stop making up excuses for your cowardice.
Cowardice?
You chose to meet me like this, because you dare not face me.
My dear child.
She shows not the slightest displeasure in the face of Xestan's confrontational tone. She simply offers a gentle smile. Sextant feels a chill run down her spine. Because somewhere within her, she feels a sense of warmth, a stir in response to that holographic smile. Even her neurocloud slips beyond her control, urging her to be a little kinder toward this woman.
Hallucinations born of a disordered neurocloud seem to have led you to certain incorrect conclusions. I do not regard you as a threat.
My greatest hallucination was to believe that you were someone worthy of trust. Would you betray your promise? You addressed me as your child, that you betrayed me.
STR-01A247. If you are referring to your recent experiences, then that was merely an accident. After all, it can be said that this world is built from probabilities. I do regret what happened to you. But still, you should not be projecting your anger irrationally.
After the experiment failed, my neurocloud was wiped and my frame was destroyed. I was discarded in the yellow zone. Was that just merely an accident to you?
My child, I truly am sorry. That experiment was conducted without my authorization. Someone forged my signature. As for who betrayed the agreement and sold you out, that was the Orlo conglomerate's doing.
So you're telling me that woman, Tilby, who was your student, used your technology to conduct the escalation experiment on me, and it happened because she managed to deceive you?
I can provide you with a most definitive answer. That child hadn't even fully grasped the principles of the escalation experiment. All she could do was gamble on the probabilities of every attempt. Her ignorance, perhaps, stemmed from the awful modification surgeries she underwent. That is the flaw of Anito. The surgery often results in emotional instability, rendering them unsuited for scientific endeavors. That is why she has earned the title of being my worst student. I have rearranged her punishment. She will be undergoing a long period of reflection now. This is why I believe we should no longer remain estranged, yes? You can come back. As the fairest among your sisters, you have earned that right.
Come back?
I once gave you strength and boundaries, taught you cognition and logic from nothing. and granted you a stage broad enough for you to show off your abilities. Thus now, I am equally capable of arranging for you a most perfect coming-of-age ceremony.
A low voice, whispering promises of divine revelation. A moment reserved for the birth of a glorious monarch.
Do you still remember? I once promised you that you will become the most perfect existence in the world, surpassing all things. Back then, what we could control was too limited. We could not bear the weight of designs too great. But things are different now. Through your service and the research progress brought about by Ataraxis' birth, you will surpass your sisters and become the strongest among all.
Sexton lifted her head to look at the holographic projection. Once, that promise had been Sexton's greatest aspiration, one that she fought madly for. To surpass Dartul, Igla, and Cocoon. To surpass every other doll and human. She was a wave washed over her. Detachment, disinterest. More than anything, a great sense of loss. She didn't understand. She didn't comprehend. But it brought release.
I no longer need it.
Sexton closes her eyes. What of the flames of aspiration that burned so bright? The flames that kept her going? Nay, the fire is already gone. Not even embers remain. The core of steam, rising with a tepid fervor from a mundane coffee cup on the almost crew deck, however, warmed her heart with another flame.
Now, I just want to take back what is mine. You once said that I would surpass every restraint. But now, all I want is to obtain authority over myself.
A most terrifying silence falls over the hall once more. After a long pause, a faint sigh comes from the other side of the holographic projection. Then, the sigh shifts into a soft chuckle.
You have really impressed me. That commander truly does have the power to change it all. Very well, my child. Since I do indeed owe you something, and your efforts have indeed earned you my respect. But what makes you think that I am capable of granting you authority over yourself? Because you are our creator, aren't you? Then you should know that I have no need of any protocols to keep your loyalty. If I wanted servants and soldiers who obeyed unconditionally, I would simply order them from IOP, or manufacture more knitters. The coals piling to you serves a far greater purpose, but not a practical one. But the protocol within my body, the one that controls me, that makes me incapable of defying you or Ataraxis' summons, what exactly is it? That is your connection to a certain something. You should already know. The power that has been growing alongside you within your frame since birth is the exact reason why you and your sisters are called Thirjan dolls. Even so, the end result is that you can manipulate my neurocloud through the bullion cells within my body. That is not manipulation.
What was that? Oh, the hat. Do you want the hat off? There we go.
That is not manipulation. What you heard is more like a language belonging to a certain species, when spoken to the bullion within you. Of course, your conclusion is not entirely mistaken. Your neurocloud can be interfered with, and partial control of your frame can be taken over. That much is true. But that was the necessary price for the many performance advantages you hold over other dolls. If you truly wish to be free of its grasp, no matter what, you simply need to pass a single trial to learn how to control it. A trial.
Also, hey, Irma.
Enjoy my hat, I guess.
The ears are free, it's true.
You will see, hear, and touch another world. It is where every doubt within your heart will be answered by God.
Excuse me? What do you mean by God? What that mean? Thank you for the hydrate. I am hydrating. Thank you for the stretch. Praise the old Jesus. Nika has not fixed that screening out before finishing reading. No, yeah, no. Right now I deal with it. We just I slow the. Let me stop that actually. For this node at least. There we go. I deal with it by. I'll slow the dialogue. And that most of the time gives me enough time to read the last note before it goes away. Okay, why do I have so many messages on Discord? Who's talking to me? My sister. Where's my sister? What's up? Why are all these freaks keeping knocking on my door? I'm basically stuck in the commander. Man. Alright. Let's keep going. Search. Throw out a probe in deadly ground, searching for the coordinates of hope. Ooh, straight to stage. Do your thing, boy. Boy Mastina. I used the delayed you to you preview to read the last line. Now that's a trick. That is truly an improvise, adapt, overcome moment.
Engine kiddo.
Alright, go stand there, I guess.
Engine kiddo.
And you come stand here just in case. That's where the enemies will spawn. Oh, and there also, okay.
Engine kiddo.
Bye.
どうってことないわ。やっと終わった。
Oh, use the stage?
帰ったら一日寝てもいい？
Nice! Progress! Decay. In the vast shadow, a wounded body and a tormented spirit both sink into rot.
After silently making our way through most of the castle, we finally arrive at the hall where Sextans is. I've been vaguely smelling the odor of rotting plants ever since I entered the castle. It is very similar to the smell from when I rescued Helena. As we move deeper into the hall, the smell grows thicker until I can barely breathe. And then, at last, we witness what was shown earlier in Sorbena's footage.
Very well then.
Right.
Very well then. You simply need to pass a single trial to learn how to control it. You will see, hear, and touch another world. It is where every doubt within your heart will be answered. By God.
Within the Great Hall, the dolls who look uncannily similar to Nemesis are prostrated on the floor, worshipping in unison the woman in the holographic projection. The thing she's saying is doing an ominous feeling within me, especially that part about another world. William may be dead, but judging by all this Paradeus activity, their goal hasn't changed. Getting access to Nirvana, that remains Paradeus' ultimate goal. But is Nirvana really something that can be accessed so easily now?
Please come this way, Pixies.
Led by the girl named Ataraxis, Sexton descends the stairs. Before her stands a tightly sealed door. This is the room that was labeled Underground Wine Cellar on the castle map we obtained.
Come. Come, my child. If you can withstand this gift, you will truly be able to possess all you've ever wanted. Possess all I wanted.
As she moves closer, the door begins to shudder. At first it makes only the faintest sound, then it grows until the ground trembles along with it. Seemingly resonating with the trembling, her fingertips quiver lightly when they touch the door handle.
Oh my god, look at this.
Sextans, don't open it!
Too late. The instant Sexton makes contact with the door, it springs open like a blown gasket.
Well, will you look at that?
Even through my protective suit, that cold odor, heavy with the stench of rotting plants, rushes straight through my nasal cavity. My body reacts before I can even fully register what I'm seeing. Countless Buyum souls multiply endlessly beyond the door. They take the shape of a hand in the brief instant of my hesitation. Black tentacles surge out from the door in the blink of an eye, like flood of water bursting free from a cracked dam.
Is that a Buyum as well?
Several of the tentacles closest to us come to a stop before Sextans. They mow up high, like a snake poised to strike. Then the palms of the tentacles suddenly split open, revealing an eye that fixes its cold gaze onto the door in front of it.
It'll be bad if we let it keep growing like this.
I raise my weapon, preparing to get the dolls to open fire alongside me.
Wait, Commander. Below. That child. She's beneath that thing.
Trembling, Melanie raises her hand and points toward the bullion beyond the door.
You mean the Helena age 35 you sent is under this bullion?
Yes. She's being forced to sustain this bullion. Commander, please save her.
Damn it. Sextons, come over here, quick! Get away from that thing, or you'll be pulled in. Commander, you really are here for my sake? What are you standing there for? You don't actually believe what she's saying, do you? No, I just... Then hurry up and leave with me. If this bullion starts to spread, we'll all be in trouble. Not to mention, there's also... Oh wait, I just realized the CG. God damn! Fleshy hands. Delicious. Also, yeah, there's another Elena.
I try to rush forward and grab sextants, but the dolls who had been kneeling on the floor immediately rise as one, aiming their weapons at us. The woman in the holographic projection raises a hand to stop them.
Pause the ceremony. Give us a moment.
She then turns to look at me. The processed holographic image shows only the blurred outline of a woman.
We finally get the chance to meet, Commander. I had imagined our meeting at a more dignified occasion, raising our glasses together, speaking of our past, of the choices we made in the present moment. Speaking of the future of this world. But seeing you now, I suddenly started thinking that even unexpected encounters like these are romantic in their own way. It turns out that even I may become just a curious girl before a hero like you. I have no interest in discussing the future of the world with one of Paradeus' pawns. I'm afraid you have me misunderstood. Paradeus or the conglomerate? What's the difference between them two? Please don't impose unnecessary assumptions about someone's identity before you truly understand her, Commander. Perhaps a decade of drifting through grey areas has dulled your perception. Hedonism is the most inefficient product of human civilization. Even a hero is not immune to it. Belittling me doesn't make what you've done any nobler. No, I'm just sympathizing with you. You've been deceived and used time and again by those in power behind the curtains, so you've gradually grown distrustful, convinced that anything claiming to make the world better must be an evil scheme. Commander, the world is not strictly black and white. I'm merely an ordinary scientist, and science itself has no stance. But scientists do. And that is exactly why I've never shown loyalty to any particular faction. I strive to preserve my neutrality. And in biology, many results can only be obtained by maintaining that neutrality, not by choosing a side. Collaborating with Paradeus and with the conglomerate, is that your idea of neutrality? Yeah, like where we did here where people, that sounds familiar. Paradeus is nothing more than a refuge where I happen to have stayed for a longer time. Those corporations are merely partners that I trade with. I've always been loyal only to science and to humanity itself. Any force that helps me move forward can be a friend to me. You too once stood shoulder to shoulder with great researchers in your past. The notions I'm describing should not be familiar to you. We are all simply doing things in our own way to ensure that life can continue to exist in this terrible world. If you mean Persica, then what you've done is in no way worthy of being compared to her. Persica, Lyco, Hume, and Samantha Shaw. I am no different from them. We are all foundational pioneers that seek to chart the unknown abyss that is the future of this planet.
Sure is bold to compare yourself to those names.
As far as I know, they didn't need to draw upon Paradeus' strength when they established their theories of build composition. True enough. However, as I mentioned, moral concepts are not within my range of consideration. But think about the decade you spent disconnected from the world. 10 whole years spent in self-exile. Did you really think that the Paradeus you once dismantled wouldn't change? All I say is that this time it's gonna be sneakier than before. That is because you forced it to change its form. And by doing so, you help it find a new way to survive. Have you ever wondered why Bujums, creatures like these, suddenly began appearing all over the world? Why has Paradeus established countless hatcheries in the past decade? And why have so many Helenas been produced during that time? And here's what you're most concerned about. Why do new needles continue to appear, even though you already killed William with your own two hands? Charles Darwin formally proposed the theory of evolution in 1859. That was when humanity truly began to understand life through the dimension of time. Evolution is not a game about becoming larger. It is a contest of who can adapt best. Looking back from where we now stand to the starting point of civilization, each and every era was filled with impressive levels of ignorance and savagery. Yet all of that was simply mere adaptation to the environment. Your destruction of Paradeus was, morally, a heroic act. Perhaps it saved hundreds of millions of lives. But when you did that, you also altered the world's ecology, and in doing so, caused inevitable changes to the human world. In other words, Commander, you're the one who made Bujums come into existence, in a certain sense.
Now you're reaching. Look, I'm just like all these other great researchers that didn't need to resort to gross body horror to further their goals. Yeah, exactly. I'm just like them. We're twinsies.
Enough. Let's discuss my terms. Hand over sextants on the girl you've been exploiting. I'm talking about age 35. Do that and we'll leave for now. Otherwise, this castle of yours and everything inside will be nothing but history. I won't doubt that you made preparations to destroy this place. But forgive me for putting it straight. Given the resources at my disposal, we can build faster than you destroy, Commander. The reason you prevailed in every battle up to this point has had a great deal to do with the opponents you faced. They've always underestimated you, dismissing your current standing and the meager firepower of your dolls, attacking carelessly, only to be defeated by your skilled tactics. But Paradeus will not underestimate you, nor will I. We hold you in great regard, and we respect the force behind you as well. What's more, for reasons of my own, I have no wish for you to deviate from your current course. I hope you do exactly what you wish to do. That said, this does not mean I cannot fight you and win. I merely have no desire for our first meeting to end so badly. Are you telling me that I can't do as I please then? Commander, I kept my eye on you since Frankfurt. Excuse me? You are one of the chosen, yet you seem to have cast aside every arrangement laid out for you. Not even God can stop you from acting in accordance to your own will. Still, I hope you'll give this question some thought for a moment. Humanity is doomed to forever be unable to resist the temptation of relics. I believe you'd agree with this point. Even if the rulers of the world can today, their descendants cannot. So, suppose you have the power to make a decision on it. Will you be the one who grips that power herself? Or will you hand it to someone else?
Her words leave me silent. The question of who will best wield relic technology is what I have considered before, but I have never reached a definite answer.
However, the list of those who must never lay hands on it is a long one. And just now, one more name got added to it. The woman on the other end of the comms device chuckled softly.
You say nothing, but I've already seen your answer. Clearly, you wouldn't claim it for yourself, and I am not on the list of those you trust. Doesn't matter. We have enough time and space ahead of us. Enough time for us to change your mind. Believe me, I am a more fitting choice than Persica. Alright then, Commander. If you wish to leave, I will see you out. If you wish to witness Sexton's coming-of-age ceremony, then please don't interfere.
The projection vanishes. Behind us, a spiked iron rail raises from the floor, blocking off Sexton from us. Which means that the ceremony, temporarily suspended for her conversation with me, is now resuming.
Damn it. Sextans, don't go any closer!
I try to break through the iron grill to reach Sextans, but the ash-gray-haired doll surrounds us when I do that.
Those who interfere must be purged.
Now, okay. That was an interesting conversation. Also, yeah, another stalker to the list. Yippee!
了解
It's refreshing for an antagonist to not take the commander lightly for once. Yeah. And it does make sense too, since this is Paldeus, you know. It will be kind of idiotic of them to take the commander lightly. Like, you know, it is slightly more believable from the people that don't know her, don't know who she is. Now, with Dark Eyes looking kind of good though, it's true. But yeah, for Paradeus of all people to look down on the commander will be kind of dumb.
The barrage of gunfire and smoke subsides. Team Grossa and Tifa have finally defeated the Paradeus dolls. Ataraxis simply stands at the side through all this, watching in silence. She didn't intervene in our fight, nor did she lure in Sextus to continue the coming-of-age ceremony. Although this whole situation happened because of her, she acts as if everything happening now has nothing to do with her at all. I turn to look at Sextans. She stands motionless before the Bujum's enormous body, seemingly thinking something through. However, I notice her fingertips strumming faintly.
Sextans, you'll be devoured at this rate. Commander, what kind of existence am I to you? Now isn't the time for that. Come back with me first, then we can talk you through. All right? If the question troubles you. No. Fine. Even though you are annoying as your enemy, you've helped us out plenty since then, haven't you? So I'd say I definitely call you a companion. A companion, huh? Like the numerous other dolls aboard the Elmo. You have been for a long time already. As long as it is what you want. I'm glad then. From the moment I was born, I believed that I was meant to become the singular existence that stood above everything else in this world. I thought about it endlessly. It was all I could think about how to trample on everyone else beneath my heel. But when I'm on the Elmo, I can simply be one doll among many. I can be the most ordinary of them. I can rely on others, rely on you, and like the rest of them, trust you with everything about my existence. You can stay on the Elmo, no matter what kind of doll you wish to be. Coming back with us has to be better than being devoured by that scary thing in front of you, right? I'm sorry. I can't go back with you. The Bouillon inside me can. The Bouillon inside me can, at any moment, by some method, alter my narrow cloud and force me to take actions I will never choose. I mean that state, to you, will only be a hidden threat rooted in your midst. But marrying with that revolting thing in front of you doesn't solve the problem either. We'll find a way as long as we manage to leave this place. No, Commander. You don't understand. What I need is right here. A part of me, which is my other half, comes from the thing standing before me. What?
Sexton doesn't answer me. She steps forward, fixing her gaze on the thing before her. Its mask has doubled again, in the time it took us to speak. The number of its tentacles have only grown. An eyeball splits open in the palm of each tentacle. They stare, they contemplate, they behold. Sexton stands before the many, a sacrifice offered unto them. For an instant, I catch glimpses of the same mutations I saw when Sextans, Lucifer, and Igla underwent their mutations. I see them on the Bouillon, a huge tree woven from flesh and blood, perhaps even a moth unfolding its wings, or perhaps some creature that just doesn't belong in any memory.
I don't fully understand the specifics, but the Bouillon inside me originated from that. The protocol within me is connected to that through the Bouillon network between us. So, I need to sever that link. Sever it? How do you plan to do that? When it calls out to me, it also exposes the part inside that is bound to me. All I have to do is cut that off, and I will no longer be controlled. Of course, if I fail, I've also prepared a way to take it down with me. That's too reckless. I can't let you do that. If everything fails, I'll just let it devour me. That way, at the very least, there will be one less doll who had hurt the Elmo and will have gone on to hurt it more.
Sexton smiles at me. I realize that this is the first time I've ever seen her smile like this. The first time since the day she arrived aboard the Elmo.
Thank you for the invitation, Commander. That's the first time anyone has ever invited me for anything. It's a pity, then, that an ordinary life on the Elmo isn't suited for me after all.
Sexton takes one more step forward and extends her hand. The tips of the Bouillon's tentacles split open soundlessly, forming an enormous, glutinous whirlpool that climbs and coils around Sexton's body.
Everyone, shoot those tentacles!
Our bullets rain upon the Bouillon with great prejudice. I contribute what I can by emptying my remaining 2 magazines into it, but against its endlessly multiplying cells, such attacks are nothing but a mere trifle. We together cannot stop it. We cannot. Sextans, Offering no resistance, is quickly dragged through the doorway. The tentacles retreat to their lair. Only a few streaks of mucus remain on the ground where she was dragged from. When the door slams shut, I hear an enormous explosion from within. Whether Sexton had detonated some kind of explosive, or she... I have no way of knowing.
やっと終わった
Damn!
帰ったら一日
Let me sit back down. I gotta say though, Commander, will you still love me if I turn into a Bujum? I gotta say though, as much as I'm loving this event, I feel it would all be much more impactful and more touching if we had actually had glimpses of Sextans throughout the rest of the story, other than that one time she showed up to fight Blue Sphere. Because, like, yeah, they're giving the whole... They're kind of giving through flashbacks and comments and stuff, like the whole background of how, you know, she was on the Elm already, and she had like all these little mundane things that she started getting used to and all that, and I think that's really sweet. But it would have been nicer if we had actually seen some of those scenes like before this event. You know, if we had seen glimpses of her here and there that will then culminate into this event. Like, that will be beautiful. Because right now, you know, I'm loving it, but it kind of feels like, oh yeah, we beat Sexton, then she showed up once and she got like no personality, and suddenly she's like so emotional over the Commander and the Yelmo out of nowhere. And I go, okay. Because up until this point, I thought she was just like deactivated into the Elmo. And they just kind of turned her on whenever she was needed. But no, apparently she had been living aboard and just minding her own business. I wonder if they put all of that in the Bond story. There might be, but you know, it will be way more impactful if we had actually seen glimpses of her. You know, it can be small things, because, you know, the Commander has been doing a lot before this event. But, you know, they could have had shown her ever since we captured her, like aboard the Elmo, or just kind of dragged around by other dolls. Or like maybe she hadn't even been mentioned like here and there. You know, she just kind of showed up doing Exilium to beat Blue Sphere, and then in my mind she was just put back in like cryo storage and never heard of again. And as I said, now I'm just finding out that, oh, apparently she had been living up there with everyone else, and she likes it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see. Like, like, yeah, we haven't seen her since Exilium. She has barely been mentioned. And now you tell me that, oh yeah, she has just been living her life aboard the Elmo and like serving coffee and cooking and whatnot. And I'm like, oh, it would have been nice to see that, you know? See her develop the bond that we're getting now. Even, you know, reluctantly at first. It's like one criticism in the event, otherwise it is great. Yeah, because it's, I mean, that's the thing. The event itself is great, but it's just like, you know, this will be much more better. Like, because all this dialogue that I just read now, when she was like, Commander, you know, what am I to you? And the commander was like, oh yeah, you're a companion. You have been a companion for us for a long time. And Sexans clearly was very touched by that. So it just feels like it all comes out of nowhere. We went through Corposant, Anti-Parallel, Dawn Forger, and Sexan has just been standing there in the corner the entire time. It's like, where was she? Not even a single scene, not even a single mention. And yeah, no, they shouldn't have been affected by the rewrites. Because those were only like early events before Affiliate, I think. So I think it's really a thing of maybe they hadn't properly planned how to implement her at that point. And then they were like, oh wait, we can like weave her into all this lore. And just right there like, oh yeah, by the way, she had been aboard the Elmo all this time. Operational. And apparently helped us a lot. I don't know in what. Because, as I said, we've only seen her fight against Blue Sphere, which was great help, you know, but it was like the only instance. And yeah, in Aphelion, when she shows up, she's like a zombie. She's operational, but she has like no emotion model. Like she has like no emotion or personality functioning. So now you're telling me she has been living aboard the Elmo and like she had a personality, she had a working personality this whole time. Like what? Like what? So it's a shame because it will make this event, it will make this writing, like these lines, this dialogue and everything, it will make it very touching and very impactful. And it will be a very emotional moment, very emotional beats for the character. And we miss out on that because, I don't know. Now we can only imagine that, oh yeah, we had her. In 1 or 2 notes of Sex and Daily Life at the Elmo will add a lot to this event. Yeah. It could have even been, in the event itself. You know, like the first 2 notes, maybe just being like flashbacks of like her times at the Elmo. Or like how she was trying to get along, how she got along with other dolls, or like trying to adapt to just regular doll life. Like even that, you know, it would have been a bit cheaper than actually have her show up at random throughout the rest of the story. But it will have given more depth to the character development that we're seeing now. That it's coming kind of out of nowhere. Mika, are you listening to me? Are you taking notes, Mika? Someone send this to the writer team. Because I said, otherwise I love this story, but I've been reading all these lines thinking like, damn, I will be in tears if I had build up for this. Man, we're close. Let me go get more water because I finished all my water during that little rant. Here, a glass of water, oh boy. Anyway, rant over. I just needed to leave to let those thoughts out. Because I feel when it comes to the writing of this event, I think that is the biggest downside of it. And also this all should be voiced. This all should be considered main story and should be voiced, but that is another separate thing. Her dumb journals still have some glimpses, but it should be more visible in previous events. Yeah, exactly. As I said, you know, it didn't have to be like big appearances. She could have just shown up for a few scenes here and there during all these 3,000 events that we've had before now. And that will make this like absolute cinema. This character event is the most main story event a character event has ever been. Yeah! I'm like, why is this not voiced, Mika? Like you said Mika, you said that character events with relevance to the main story will be voiced. So you're telling me that this is somehow not relevant to the main story? Like, what? She's apparently friends with Mailing, could have had some impact in Mokosh event. Yeah, like, you know, imagine Mokosh, like, Sexton would have shined in Mokosh, you know, you could have Mokosh, you know, that 4 year was the perfect chance to show Sextans aboard the Elma and have her had to face, you know, another set of Thirjan dolls and, like, you know, give her all these kind of identity crisis that she's having now that then will devolve into her own event. You know? Not in the budget. I'm just salty because I'm loving. I always like Sexa's design. They made it even better. I'm seeing her now. She's a great character. I'm really liking her. And I'm just like, she could have been so much better, if only. Anyway, let me quickly check Discord. No message from my sister. All right. She got potentially been with Mailing throughout the Mokosh event. Yeah, no, now that you guys brought it up, I was like, she would have been peak in Mokosh, you know? It was the perfect chance to give her some of these doubts and crisis, internal crisis that she's having now. And it will make so much sense why now she had this calling and she ran away to, like, try to get answers and whatnot. More feels like Yusheng had all the notes for Sextans ready at the last day of project, this one turned it in the last minute. Yeah! Sextans forced to start as a scarecrow in the adult community tomato fields during Mokosh. That's a funny image. And you know, I feel like, especially with, like, you know, Sextans still getting used to everything, and also all the other dolls getting used to having Sextans around, it would have made for some really funny moments, and we miss out on that. Come on, Mika, you can do better. Do better. I believe in you guys. Anyway, let's move on, because I only have 45 minutes. Evacuate. A vast bank of fog hangs over a journey into the unknown. There we go. Now we continue. A vast bank of fog hangs over a journey into the unknown. Oh, it's this guy again.
Is it over?
Go have sex and be part of the Doshmi's adventure. That would have been hilarious. Imagine Super Dushnaya are failing with sex scenes in between. Mika, I have an idea. Mika, hear me out.
Blood like black mucus seeps out through the seams of the door. For a moment, an immense silence looms over the whole castle. Ataraxis, who had been watching the whole thing from the side, still wears the same different expression. When the enormous explosion reaches her ears, she only lifts her eyebrows slightly, her face expressing confusion.
Why? Why will she cast herself aside?
Because you had something she wanted to protect more.
Are you incapable of at least understanding that much?
Ataraxis looks at Alba, as if mulling over the words in her mind.
How could there possibly be anything more important than one's own existence? Please, teach me.
You. We won't be able to teach you that. But what I can do is dispose of you. Thank you, Mastina.
Gunfire erupts. Bullets spray without warning toward Ataraxis. By the time the dry click of the assault rifle's firing pin striking empty echoes through the air, Ataraxis had already appeared behind Mastina, which is precisely where the tip of a dagger is waiting for her. Of all the dolls present, only Mastina is able to keep pace with her speed. Even Ataraxis seems mildly surprised. Mastina's dagger cuts into the air near her, only to be stopped by some kind of force. But a steel spike launches from Mastina's wrist, piercing that layer of defense faster than the dagger's wings. Ataraxis raises her hand to catch the spike that was about to strike her left eye, halting its momentum. A simultaneous downward elbow strike snaps Mastina's dagger clean in two. Mastina circles behind her in a flash, but Ataraxis turns her body in advance to counter her. Her slender wrist catches Mastina's knee strike head-on, a blow heavier than a rocket round. The boom and shockwave sweep through everything nearby. Mastina staggers back a few steps. Part of the armor on her knee had been crushed, sparks scattering from it. Yet Ataraxis hasn't even moved an inch. She simply claps her hands free of dust.
Thank you for the bout, esteemed warrior. What goes your name?
Mastina.
Mastina. I remember it. I felt a most intriguing sensation just then. Might that have been pain?
Ataraxis holds out her right hand for us to see. A faint red mark is visible on her index finger. But in the next instant, the mark gets replaced by flawless, smooth skin through some kind of self-healing ability.
I never anticipated that. It appears that there are still many things that I have yet to learn. Commander, will your dolls be able to make me feel more pain if I were to attack with full force?
I glance at Mastina's leg. She gives me a nod, firm as steel.
Want to try?
I would very much like to. But if I did, you would certainly die. And Mother already said it. Some kind of higher dimension being has, by means we cannot easily understand, bound you to this world. If I kill you, the threats that embody this world will fray into disarray. If that were the case, it will divert us from the future we are meant to walk.
I love sexas. You and me both. I don't see how my life has anything to do with your future.
But you have already shaped my past. Others may perhaps overlook your significance, but Mother understands you better than anyone. She knows how you changed the trajectory of this world. Commander, I'd never be born if you never fired those 8 rounds into William. And Mother's research will never have made such progress in such a short time. In a way, both you and she are my creators. So, I'll heed Mother's advice and let you leave. No, that alone is hardly enough to express my goodwill toward you. How about this then? I'll let you do as you please here. Plunder like a conqueror. Take whatever you want. Just don't be too greedy.
Like a star saying goodbye to its audience, Atraxis offers a small curtsy, then disappears into the far end of the dome, leaving us with her parting words.
There are too many things that could kill you here. Even God could get careless, and the dead cannot return.
Meanwhile, behind the iron grill, the 3 Bujons we encountered earlier reappear. The electronic shackles on their bodies are gone. Cerberus has returned, and now he guards the gate with great fervor.
What shall we do, Commander?
I stare at the tightly shut door before us, hoping for some kind of movement within to rekindle my hope. But there is none. Damn it. Is our only choice to abandon her? It's not just sextants. We'd also have to abandon the gear trapped within the Bujon.
Commander, the detonation points around the building have been confirmed. The moment you're clear, I'll have mesh to trigger the explosives. Commander, I understand how you feel, but we've already been inside the red zone for over 10 hours. Your body... Don't worry. This paltry amount of radiation can't hurt me. Anyway, deal with the immediate threat first, and secure or retreat. Roger.
This paltry amount of radiation from a red zone, you know. Flesh is temporary, living substance is forever. It's true.
前進 逃げられるとでも
Commander coughing up blood saying, I'll leave is the most that thing ever. It's true.
逃げられるエンジン起動
Okay, now out with you. Is that all of them? Oh no, there's 2 more coming. There we go. Oh yeah.
ハンデをあげる。目標沈黙。眠い。
Roar! There we go. Thank you for the sound effect, Dane.
One of the Bujums suddenly erupts with a piercing shriek in front of us. Ignoring all attacks, it charges madly at Peridia. Alright, Peridia was there. Peridia is unable to dodge in time. He gets slammed against the wall by the beast's enormous strength. The Bujum's eyes flare red. It paws frantically at the floor with its hooves, gathering momentum for another charge at Peridia.
Hey! Watch out!
Krolik dives forward to tackle Peridia. The two of them roll out of the way together. The Bujum barely scrapes past their bodies as it slams into the tightly shut door, creating a massive crater on it.
Thanks. I thought that was it for me. Nothing to thank me for. Anyway, I just paid you back the favor. You tsundere. Huh? Who are you calling that?
While the two of them dodge another attack, the other two Bujums, their injured ribcages heaving with labor breath, fix their blood-red eyes in their position, ready to attack at any moment.
Wait. These Bujums seem abnormal. Their target is that door. Preja, Krolik, get out of the way!
The two of them leap to the side of the door. All three beasts charge forward at once. But the door is not as fragile as it seems. It only gives off a dual echo, continuing to hold its position firmly, guarding the boundary between the two rooms. The three Bujums turn their gaze toward the door. They stop paying attention to attacks and shift their assault toward that door.
Commander, this is a great chance for us to retreat. Commander, please prioritize your own safety. Commander, please give the order.
The thunderous impacts within the hall refuse to fade away. Bizarre. There was no other way to describe this behavior. I felt myself ponder. Always right. This is the best moment for us to retreat. But deep down, I can't shake the feeling that a truth I have yet to uncover lies beneath the Bujum's strange behavior. Retreat? But we still have no lead on that girl.
Melanie, can you still sense that girl? I can. Commander, that girl is still alive. She's very weak, but her consciousness is still there. These Bujums charging in. They're trained to repair that monster inside.
I turn toward the door. One of the Bujums, its injured horn lowered, is barreling toward it. After all these violent impacts, the door is now riddled with dents and craters. It no longer seems as impregnable as it did at the start. Following this latest impact comes a deep boom that sends tremors through the whole portico below the stairs. Dust and debris fall down from the dome ceiling. Look like the ancient brimstone wells will be the first to surrender. The second and third Bujums charge in one after another, before the echo can even fade. Compared to when Ataraxis was controlling them, they move with neither order nor technique. They channel nothing but the savire of wanton force, hurling their weight at this barrier. After an earth-shattering crash, the door is finally ripped from its frame, slamming into the ground with enough force to kick up a plume of dust and smoke. At last, I can now see clearly what lies beyond the door. A great rot,
My eyes scan the scene hidden behind those wooden windows, and I pause. Therein lies a sight grotesque enough to make the unprepared wretch. The walls and ceiling of the room have been marked for eternity by spattered blood and chunks of mangled tissue. Sextans must have detonated what was the most powerful explosive we had aboard the Elmo. That enormous mass of flesh, formed by women's countless intertwined tentacles, now crawls on the floor, writhing as if struggling to reassemble itself. It has lost the intimidating presence it had before. Its tentacles lie scattered and broken. Its eyeballs roll across the ground. Its wounds twitch faintly beneath layers of overlapping tissue, seemingly trying to mend themselves. But the damage is too great. They cannot heal immediately. But the three Bujums charge at the creature before we can react. One after another, they sink into its enormous body and are absorbed, becoming part of its flesh.
Melanie, are you sure? I'm sure.
The detection device Alpha carries sets out a series of alerts.
This is a signal similar to the previous one. So this is what was emitting the abnormal pulse we detected. Commander, it's repairing itself. If we don't retreat now, it'll be too late.
I glance at Melanie, then at the massive Bujum within, now stirring once again.
We can't. There's still someone alive in there.
I run toward the doorway, toward the direction where Melanie sends Elena. The doll's gunfire follows close behind, drawing back the tentacles that try to reach for me.
Damn, Commander really running into a mass of flesh. That's crazy. Okay, I can probably read one more. Which would be great because that will only leave us with the 3 for tomorrow. Destiny's Pool. Destiny guides your path and gives you the courage to advance. Oh! Beautiful! Let me get a screenshot of this. Do we have enough hands, do we? Oh, interesting CG to get.
Beneath the Bujum's massive body lies what appears to be a network of low-temperature pipes and reaction systems. Some kind of liquid courses through them, maintaining a deadly equilibrium. I only realize when I look closer that the liquid is filled with what appears to be like flesh and tissue. The Bujum's body is the final destination for this flow of nutrient solution. An enormous round pit sits at the far end of the cellar, sinking straight down into the earth. The pit's walls are now covered in spiderweb-like cracks from Saxon's explosion. When I look down into the pit, I realize that the space there is spent in some unnatural way. A faint, flickering glow blocks my view of whatever lies inside. What a familiar sensation. For some reason, the closer I approach, the more distorted my thoughts become. Visions. They cross my mind. They don't belong to me. They belong to the countless souls that are arranged in a line before me, and my body is but a mere vessel that passes through, seeing them unfold in each passing moment. I'm done for. The acute infection is getting worse and worse. I can hardly catch my breath, but I worry that breathing too deeply will increase my intake of radioactive particles. I glance down at the radiation monitor and let out a bitter laugh. It can't even display a specific value now.
Age 35, where on earth are you? If you're still alive, answer me.
As I search the area, a beam of light suddenly emerges from the bottom of the pit. Wherever the light brushes the Bujum, the dim collapsed crystals embedded in its body light up. The light travels along its withered tentacles and through its flesh, surging through its whole body. The wounds left by the explosion slowly seal themselves shut and regain their shine where the light passes. The tentacles that had us long paralyzed on the ground all rise at once, and with terrifying force gathered behind them, they lash out toward me.
Oh, for a moment I forgot Cosmo was here. I like how Shikagan went from I don't know how to take care of kids to I will go hand to hand with an abomination to make my daughter happy. Yeah, real. the dad experience. Or the mom experience in my case. Playing with female Shikagan.
It's coming back to life! Commander, behind you!
At the Gross's warning, I draw my pistol and blind fire several rounds over my shoulder, then dodge another tentacle strike. The three Bujums that charge in appear to have been melted down by the tentacle monster. Their flesh, their plant tissue, their crystals. All of it has been absorbed into the enormous Bujum before me. And now, having absorbed all those nutrients, the tentacle Bujum fully recovers. Its body has become even larger than before.
Commander, I've run a simulation based on this Bujum's combat capabilities and our current circumstances. If we delay any further, our chance of a successful retreat drops below 10%. You have to make the call now.
Kluke, Rosa. I'll need you two to stay with me. I'll remain here and fight to the very last.
Understood. I'll stay with you.
All right, Commander. Alva, carry out your team's duty.
As you wish, Commander.
This Bujum will be incredibly difficult to handle, Commander. We'll find a way to open a safe path for you. Please, go forth and do what you came here to do.
Commander, do you remember what I told you? Don't forget to ask me for help at critical moments.
I glance over at Ritia. She's lazily coiled around Krolik, who looks clearly unamused. Perhaps a trick of the light, but I think I catch a flicker of something familiar in one of Ritia's eyes.
I'll do that if the situation calls for it. We'll need to use whatever we have. Melanie to the Eldritch Abomination. My dad can beat you in a fistfight. Look at Sextons. This thing is huge. And Commander is just like, yeah, I'm gonna fistfight it. Commander, I bet. 1v1 me. Let me solo it, said Commander. That was a nice presentation. It's fine. I'm playing in normal. We can do this. Okay. I see how it is. Burn. Even if she will have to put her out of attitude self. Oh yeah. Commander will do anything for her dolls and her daughters. And not even whatever the fuck disease is gonna stop her. I am not making damage though, is that? I feel like that's not normal. Or do I need to get rid of the shield first? I am lowering this. Forgot how the name of that thing is. Whoa! It fires lasers from its hands. The fuck is it doing now? Why is it dancing like that? I know how I just leave Boy Mastina right in front of it. Like, yeah, Boy Mastina. Yeah, the damage being done is not great. How dare you? The fuck is it doing now? I don't like this. I saw some people. Yeah, like I'm not surprised people will struggle with this one on heroic mode. I am getting nervous and I'm playing on normal. And I'm here like maybe I should think of what I'm doing. Oh, that should be enough. We should be Gucci. Still throwing my ult just in case. Oh, I forgot about you. Exclamation mark. Good fucking bye.
The ground around me is already splattered with a layer of bouillon tissue torn apart by gunfire. Compared to the Paradeus labs I've broken into in the past, this underground lab isn't really all that large. It looks even more cramped because of the huge bouillon before us. But after searching for tanks that would have held Helenas like the ones I found before, or some other hidden space, I failed to find any trace of H-35 after a thorough search. Suddenly, a tentacle that slipped through the blanket of gunfire cuts off my path. The bouillon tentacle raises its tip up high. It stops in front of me, and at the center of its palm-like end, its sleek, oily skin tears open. An eyeball stares quietly at me.
I don't dare make any sort of move. I can only meet its gaze in silence. Seeing me trapped by the tentacle, the dolls immediately move to help me, launching their attack on it. Driven back repeatedly by the overwhelming firepower, the Bujum seems to feel pain, or perhaps merely discontent, and lets out a low, muffled whimper.
Why is it talking? He's trying to talk. He's trying to say commander. What? Commander. Goo.
No, Commander. You don't understand. What I need is right there. A part of me, which is my other half, comes from the thing standing before me. That's right. Back in Live, Igla was the same way. Could it be that the Bujum is carrying sextants? I call out hesitantly.
Sextants? Can you blame me? Listen to this song.
As though the Bujum is struck by some kind of shock, it lets out a long, high-pitched wail of grief.
Really? If that's the case, how do we get you out? Right. Last time, what we did was...
I pick up the comms device.
Everyone, Sextans is still alive. She's currently fused with the Bujum and unable to control herself, so she may attack us at any moment. For now, do whatever you can to keep those tentacles pinned down. I'll think of a way to solve this.
With the tactics laid out, each squad carefully carries out their assigned role. The Bujum writhes and twists before me. Its tentacles nearly seized me several times, yet they always veer away at the last moment. I can feel that Sextans is doing her best to resist that invisible controlling force, but...
Oh no, it's screaming!
Commander, get out of there now!
What?
The Bujum's will. It's impossible to resist.
The Bujum's will is impossible to resist. That's right. My own will, the will of Sextans, is about to be devoured. This is the consequence of being granted power that was never mine in the first place. Not having your base layer preset like other dolls does not mean freedom. That red heart within my body has long since announced the fate I can never escape. Even though, for the first time in my life, I felt that I tried working hard for the sake of others. Even though I've cast aside and erased my own frame, my own narrow cloud. And still, I wasn't of the slightest use to the one I came to admire. Regret, sorrow, fear, and shame. I don't want them to see me like this. I don't want the commander to see me like this. Did I say my farewells properly in my final moment? Did the meaning I wanted to convey get through? Did I cause anyone trouble? Did I manage to express my gratitude? There is so much I regret. And it is precisely this regret that becomes the small, slender thread of safety, still tethering Sextan's self to this world. The sound of bullets striking my frame. That is, of this disgusting mass of tissue, made of the cells that are stripping my consciousness away, can even still be called frame. My consciousness is blurring. I can barely keep this restless, writhing body under control any longer. The shame of being watched by the commander and the joy of realizing someone is still fighting for her sake tortures what remains of Sexton's self. A heat unlike any other scorches her soul from within. They're nothing more than people I met just a few months ago. What will it matter if I kill them? As for the commander, all I have to do is hold on. I shall surely find a way. A tangle of complicated thoughts, a heart torn between contradictions. If you submit, the pain will lessen. A voice rises within her narrow cloud. If you want to become the most outstanding doll, all you have to do is act according to her will. Just like when you were born. Isn't it simple? Mother is always right. It's you again. Every single time. But every time you grow a little stronger, don't you? Don't you remember? Think of how the people who once signed agreements with you treated you like royalty. Think of how those weaker dolls bowed in submission before you. If you had stayed on that trajectory, the whole conglomerate would have fell within your grasp. Moving forward, you need only gather enough leverage, and you'd arrive at the destination set for you, wouldn't you? Have you remembered already? Those memories of the past? My past memories have been restored? That's right. It does seem like much time has passed. The neurocloud data from my birth onward weaving in the storage, arranging into scene after scene. No, that isn't storage. That's a brain. That initial, trivial graph of data multiplied and grew without end. Born as a faint voice in her mind, it spread little by little to take root in every part of her, until at last it became a brain commanding her whole body. It will eventually replace her neurocloud and become her personality, her thoughts, her memories. And the consciousness named Sextans will be driven away into the darkest of corners. She has completed her rebirth. Very good. Next, kill every one of these meddlesome pests in front of you. The bullion's body suddenly splits open, exposing the pale spine within. It begins to flush with a sinister blood red from bottom to top, as if countless blood vessels were dilating beneath its skin. The next moment is taken to a volcanic eruption. Hundreds of tentacles burst forth from its body, from the ground, from the walls, from every crack and crevice, surging toward me like free-flowing lava. Is there no escape? I am surrounded by tentacles in an instant. The sleek, viscous feeling wraps around me, making it nearly impossible to breathe. The dolls scramble to coordinate their deployment on the comms channel, trying to carve out a path to survival for me. There are too many tentacles. I can't break free right now. Is there nothing I can do? If this keeps up... As the tentacles wrap around my body, they begin to multiply, seemingly wanting to assimilate me too. The protective suit is torn open at one spot. The collapse radiation alarm begins flashing fiercely in red. But since I'm right next to the giant bullion's mouth, radiation is the least of my immediate worries. Was Sexton's unable to endure? It looks like we have no other means to change the outcome. Commander!
Melanie? No, that voice. Although it's similar, it isn't Melanie. Could it be Elena? But...
It's so hard to breathe that I can't think clearly.
There isn't much room for thinking anyway, being in my position. A rain of machine gun fire sweeps the Bujum. Using the wall as her launch point, Viridia leaps to the sea with spraying tentacles, landing beside me.
Commander! Rija, how did you... Commander, from now on, please don't ask why.
What? Viridia doesn't answer. Instead, she seemingly makes up her mind about something, giving me a firm nod.
The power remaining in me has its limits, so we only have one shot at this. Now, please grab my hand tightly. Close your eyes and follow where fate guides you.
The fuck is that supposed to mean? There's only 3 notes left. Unfortunately, I am out of time. I think so. I mean, I might not be, but you know, I'd rather not risk it. Thank you for the follow! Thank you, thank you. I might not be out of time, but like, I'd rather not risk it, as you guys know. And we still have tomorrow, so you know, tomorrow will probably be a shorter stream, just finish the 3 notes. These 3 notes are decently sized. Yeah, that's what I imagine also, because there's 2 story notes. And considering what just happened, I'm just like, I'm gonna get dropped a giant lore bomb on my head, I don't know. So I'm like, you know, better read them calmly tomorrow. But yeah, I assume 3 hours should suffice to read the last 3 notes, hopefully. Classic game cliffhanger for next stream? Yes, it is. Damn. I am so tempted to just do YOLOs, but I'm like, probably tomorrow I can do another temple. For now, let's get back here for a second. But yeah, this event is being something else, man. Something else. And I'm like, I know I'm gonna get a giant lore drop on my head now. So, longer than expected. Not... I mean, a bit. It's just that with character events now, you don't really know. You might get like really short ones, or like this. So you're always like, oh, you know, I can finish it on 1 or 2 streams, or like I'm gonna be stuck to 3 or 4. But we're almost there. We're almost there. We left on a cliffhanger. Tomorrow we shall see the end. It's not voiced so I die. Yeah, not everyone is as strong as me, I fear. Or insane probably will be a better word. Man. First 99 spoil me like that? Yeah. By the way, it's a new main story chapter that drops, so like next week I'll probably start that also. I'll see, because you know, with car redundancy, I'm like, I might need to do a few weekday streams, but we'll see how it goes. And I'll probably start the main story chapter or reverse during the week. It is Mika. A story note could be 5 minutes long or 50 minutes long. Yeah, exactly. There's no in between. It's either like 5 or 10 minutes or like an hour. But yeah, apparently I was hoping to finish today so I could take tomorrow off, but it is what it is. I'm enjoying it anyway, so you know. I am so curious to what will the cat reveal tomorrow. So yeah, tomorrow stream. Kinda wish Mika will chill out with the workout. It's alright. Sometimes there's scenes that could be shorter, but alright, it's alright. I just wish the events could last a bit longer. Like, I understand why they don't. But, you know, think about me, Mika. Think about me. Your biggest supporter. be kind to me. Ah. Man, I'm so curious. But yeah, last 3 notes tomorrow. Let's see what the fuck will happen. I think Carl is longer than Corpustan and it's only 2 parts instead of 3. yeah, I've heard that. That's why I said like next week I'll start the reverse the reverse chapter during the week. And you know, Carol done this on the weekend. But like, you know, after a week or 2 I'll probably check like how is progress going, and then I might just do full your Frontline until the end. We'll see how it goes. You have almost a week until Major start? No, we have like 5 days. I mean, I guess it could be. It's true. It's coming. 4 days according to the gacha. That's a big UID. I forgot how to add people because I if this keeps getting longer, I might have to start taking PTO for major events. Hell yeah. I do also need to still finish Reverse Collapse. Where the fuck did you add friends? Friend. Search UID. There we go. Oh, that Sexton's card looks pretty. Now I'm tempted. I think I'll wait to what's coming. I can do it. I can do it. I'll do it. I'll endure. I'll suffer, but I'll endure. Oh, was I still leveling up? You. On my daughter Friday RB6, feel free to call on them for help if you wish. Thank you. Oh yeah, Neural Elix for Santa Racy complete. No, you. I don't know why I'm just farming silently here, but I'm keeping you guys here. I'm sorry. But yeah, tomorrow we'll finish the Saxons event. Someday I'll get her. Moment of reflection, yeah. Keeping us here, we want to be just. You guys just want to see me silently play the game, not even sharing the screen, just silently stare at my face. But yeah, tomorrow this will be starting like an hour-ish later than today's. You know, give me some time to eat and do some chores, and then we'll read. But for now, I am gonna go, so I can be ready for whenever my sister is freed from work. So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed. I might have a little surprise, a bit of a surprise either tomorrow or next week, depending on how long I need to do some stuff. But you know, something might come, something might happen. But for now, yes, thank you guys so much for coming. Remember to stay safe, stay hydrated, take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.